So earlier this week, I posted a vlog on YouTube about everything I went through last week to cut 10 pounds to make 118 my fight weight on the weekend. And I had a lot of questions from you guys asking about everything. So I thought I'd put together another follow-up YouTube video, this one, just to answer those questions and anything that you wanted to know. So first question was, would you recommend this type of weight loss for a normal person? No. I would 100% not recommend this type of weight loss for anybody at all. It is, however, a common practice with combat sport athletes and fighters, because it gives you a size advantage over your opponents. So before you're even talking technique or skills or anything like that, just say I'm 130 pounds and I cut 12 pounds to make 118, right? I'm either going to be getting in the ring with someone that's 118 pounds, therefore I'm having by the time I rehydrate and refuel back up to 130 pounds after the weigh-in, I'm going to have a 12-pound weight advantage. Or maybe I'm getting in the ring with someone that's normally 123 pounds and they were able to cut 5 pounds for the fight. I'm still getting in the ring with someone that I'm typically 7 pounds heavier than. So, like I said, before skills, technique, anything even comes into play, I have either a height or a physical strength advantage where I can just be throwing my opponent around the ring, or maybe, I'm so much longer than them, they can't even get near me. So that's the reason that it is a common practice in combat sports to make weight. And that was why I decided to do it. So I thought it's a good time in my career, being only my second fight, to experiment with my fight weight. My last fight I fought at 126 pounds. I barely cut any weight at all. But, sooner or later I'm going to be getting world title shots, and I don't want to wait until then to be let's try and do a weight cut and then be getting in the ring feeling like shit. And that's my main concern. I want to know what weight I can make. If I made 118 this time, but when I got in the ring I felt like such shit that I was it affected my performance, I would be okay, next time I'm not going that low. 118 is clearly not for me. But as it happened, I felt great. I had a really good team behind me, educating me on my refuel and rehydration. So I felt great by the time I got in the ring, and yeah, I'm happy to continue fighting at 118. Next question, or something someone said to me: I would like to try this to lose some fat. You're not going to lose any fat doing what I did. I actually started the year at 132.5 pounds. I spent 6 weeks eating really, really healthy. Literally the only bad thing I ate in 6 weeks was 3 brownies and 1 piece of chocolate in 6 weeks. I'll tell you more about my diet in a second, what I ate to lose 5.5 pounds to get to 127 at the start of last week, or 127.8 I think I was, yeah. So I lost about 5 pounds over 7 weeks. So not a fast weight loss, that's a healthy weight loss, and that's something that you should aim for if you want to lose fat. What I did was literally just losing water. And you saw in my video how I was. I could barely function. I was like a zombie. I felt like shit. I looked like shit. I was a skeleton. You can't walk around and function and feel like that. My brain was fuzz. It's not a permanent weight loss situation. It's weight loss, but it's not fat loss. And I'm assuming when you say you want to lose weight, you're talking you want to lose fat, not be a zombie. So yes, would not recommend it if fat loss is your goal. Would not recommend it at all, actually, honestly. It's not healthy. Warning, something I learned that I did really badly was I did it alone, and I would never, ever, ever, ever do that again. The only reason I did that was because it was a very last minute decision. I was actually planning on going to the gym to make the weight. I was gonna exercise just lightly and just sweat, because our gym is like a sauna. And that was how I had always planned to lose the water weight on that final day. However, when I woke up in the morning, I had no energy and I was just I don't think I could work out today, didn't have any strength. And the bath I'd done the night before had seemed, you know, like a much easier option. So at the last minute, I changed the plan, another silly idea, without telling anybody, and decided to do it via sweating in the bath instead. What that meant was I didn't have anyone there to monitor me. When I got out of that third bath, I actually almost passed out. I think I said that in my video. I blacked out, couldn't see anything, and I was literally laying on the floor trying to talk myself through, like, Avril, you're not fucking dying on your bathroom floor today. Like, stay with it, stay with it. Like, it was difficult. Like, it was a very dangerous situation. Another stupid thing I did was I didn't have any water on hand to, you know, bring me back to life a little bit. So I literally had to lay there. Like, I actually can't even believe I did it. Like, so freaking stupid. And yeah, so like I said, would not recommend it. Did a lot of things wrong, but it was my first weight cut. I learned a lot of lessons, and thankfully I didn't die. And yeah, a lot of things I'll definitely do differently next time. Did you gain all the weight back? Yes, I gained all the weight back, every bit of it. I think by that night, so I weighed in. Oh, another question was, what did you eat and drink post weigh-in? So I did the weigh-in. Straight away, I guzzled almost a liter of electrolyte drinks. So that's just like water with salt in it, basically. Like, you know, think Gatorade. The ones I had were called Cra. They're really good, actually. Really nice flavors. And so I guzzled like a liter of them, and then I was like, okay, shit, slow down, like you're drinking too fast, because I had no salts in my system. Like, I was putting them back in, obviously, so that I could retain the water again. You don't want to drown yourself internally either, so I had to slow down. My friend suggested fill a bottle of water with a liter of water and put some sea salt in it, and just take like an hour, half an hour to an hour to slowly sip that and to rehydrate. So after I had that liter, I slowed down, took a little bit of time off drinking, maybe like, I don't know, 20-30 minutes, and then just slowly sipped that drink for the next half an hour. Still feeling like shit by this point, mind you, but like so good to drink again. Haven't eaten at this point, couldn't, like not even on my mind. After that, I waited about 20 minutes. Then I had a protein shake. So my protein shake was just 1 scoop of strawberry, 22 days vegan protein powder with a banana and some almond milk blended up. Love that. Then I waited probably about half an hour. I was told to wait an hour, but I couldn't. I waited about half an hour, and then I had a bowl of fruit and yogurt and some seeds and stuff. Then I started to feel all right after that. Like, I was still not quite there, but I was like, you know, coming back to life, coming back to normal. I continued to drink a lot of water, putting the salt in the water still all afternoon. I was told that after having that by that stage I'd had 2 liters. I had the electrolyte drinks, and then I had the water with salt in it. So I'd had 2 liters of electrolyte water, basically. I was told I didn't really need to do much more than that, but I just kept doing it anyway because it was already done. And so yeah, I think by the end of the night, I had drank about 4.5 liters of water, and I ate 2 more meals after that as well. So I went to Whole Foods and just ate healthy food off their hot bars. So a mixture of, I can't even remember what it was now, but it was like carbs, protein, and some veggies, typically what I always eat in a meal. The thing with the Whole Foods hot bar, I love it. It's like super healthy food. A lot of the time it's like really good quality ingredients, but for me, it's very salty. Most normal people on their normal diet probably wouldn't even notice that, but when you've like doing a weight cut, and so you have to reduce your salt, which I'll explain why in a minute. Another question someone asked me. You need to keep the salts low, so I couldn't eat there all week last week. So yeah, it was really nice to just be able to go to the supermarket and have a ready-made meal. Love that Whole Foods hot bar. Then actually, so that was kind of my late lunch, early dinner, and then I went for dinner again later, and I had a mung bean stew and tuna steak, which is freaking amazing. And but again, like quite salty. So I had a few salty meals, lots of carbs, a lot of water. By that night, I think I was back up to like 127, maybe actually even 130 pounds. I think I might have been that night. Like, I really got back up there. By the time I went to bed, I was actually feeling really good. Like, probably not the smartest idea to, but if I had to fight that night, I probably could have gotten the ring and fought that night. Like, I actually felt really good. Woke up the next morning. I think I woke up at like 127. So 9 pounds above the 118. And then by the time I got in the ring, I didn't weigh myself right before I got in the ring, but I'd ate and drank plenty all day that day. So I imagine I probably could have been like 135 by the time I got in the ring. So you can see what I mean about the significant size and weight advantage. Actually, someone asked me, I'm confused as to why you had to make weight. Your opponent was huge. Yes, she was. She actually didn't make the weight. She was a little over. So normally what happens, like if that was a world title fight or a TV fight or some kind of fight where people care and it's like, a rankings fight or something like that, then even if it would be up to me, it's still up to me always as the person who made the weight and the opponent who didn't. It's up to me if I still want to take the fight. Now, I can turn around and be like, no, I'm not fighting her, she didn't make the weight. And that's okay. There's no like implications to affect me in the contract negatively. However, she wouldn't get to fight. But like, here's the thing. I've just trained my ass off for like 6 to 7 weeks, killed myself making weight for a few pounds. Like, am I honestly going to turn around and be like, nah, I'm not fighting her? No. Like, there was no way I was going to fight. I was so confident in my training camp. I had a really good training camp. I'd been sparring much bigger girls and smaller and all different sizes my whole training camp. So I was like, you know what? Fuck this girl. Like, we're fighting. But here's the thing. Like, if that was a world title fight or a TV fight or, like something bigger, even if she won the fight, she wouldn't have won the title. Not that I would have won the title, it would have still just remained like vacant or whatever. Or if I had the title already, just say I was the current world champion and I was fighting a girl who didn't make weight and I still decided to take the fight anyway, even if she had won the fight, I would have still kept my title because she didn't make weight. So she can't be a champion at that weight. Makes sense? Next question. What are your macros? I don't know. I don't count my macros. Never really have, actually. I prefer to focus more on eating for nutrition. I look at food more in terms of food groups rather than just the macronutrients. So macronutrients are protein, carbs, fats. But what that doesn't consider is the other important things such as micronutrients, which are things like your vitamins and minerals. Let me give you an example. You might be really tired, right? And typically you could assume that that would be from a lack of carbs, but maybe it's from a lack of vitamin B or a lack of iron that you're not getting. So I think food, especially for performance, is more, you've got to consider more than just the macronutrients. So like I said, I prefer to think of food more in terms of food groups. Those food groups are carbohydrates, fats, dairy, vegetables, fruit, and protein. 6 food groups. So I eat a little bit of protein in most meals. I usually aim for I don't even know, maybe 20, 30 grams protein. But then in saying that, my breakfast is only 2 eggs, which is 12 grams of protein. But I'll eat more later. So, I guess over 5 meals, I try and get, a little bit of protein in each meal. But then my lamb salad might have 30 grams of protein in it, or my turkey burger might have 30 grams of protein in it, more than a typical 20. So, then I eat a lot of carbohydrates. I go for around 6 serves a day. Sometimes even more if I'm feeling like if I've got a heavy 2 sessions of training a day. I try and put a little bit of fat in every meal, whether it's some seeds or avocado, not a lot, just a bit. I tend to eat a lot of carbs around my training before and after and through the rest of the day, but the bulk of it around training. And I tend to keep fat away from training. So I'll have a little bit of avocado or seeds or something around training, in the morning or whatever, but then I eat more fat in my meals that are not directly before or after training. Typically, but at the end of the day, I kind of just eat whatever fits in. I'm not super like regimented about it. I eat a lot of vegetables. I eat a lot of fruit because I really need the sugar and I really need the energy. The kind of training that I do is very intense and requires a lot of fast, explosive energy. It's not like I'm running marathons and can live off high-fat stores. So, and dairy, yeah, I love dairy. Super important. I know people are against it. I love it. It's probably my favorite food group other than bread. So I definitely eat my dairy. Yeah. You don't seem madly into protein consumption. I mean, I eat protein for almost every meal. I guess I just don't eat like 500 gram steaks. And I don't have a protein shake 15 times a day, but I mean, I eat it as I need it, as I said. So, what do you eat regularly and what is your normal water consumption? Okay, so my normal water consumption typically is, if I'm only training once a day, between around 4 to 5 liters a day. If I'm training twice a day, 6 liters a day. That's my typical normal water consumption. So you can see how when I do a 10-pound weight cut and it's coming from water, I have a lot of water to cut because I drink a lot of water and I'm always very, very hydrated. Someone else who might not drink as much water as me might not be able to do that. What do you eat regularly? So I have 3 diets, I guess you could say. And like, I never really feel like I'm dieting. It's just what I like to eat. So there's my like no fight coming up, just regular healthy eating diet. There's my, which is my normal diet. Then there's my, I have a fight coming up and I'm needed like, you know, focus on performance eating and maybe even drop a little bit of weight diet. And there's my fight week diet where it's like the really extreme one that you saw in the video last week. So let's start with the middle one. I have a fight coming up. I'm eating for performance and I'm maybe trying to lose a few pounds. The difference between maybe trying to lose a few pounds and not is that I'll probably eat just a little bit less if I'm actually trying to lose weight compared to if I'm happy with my weight and I'm purely just eating for performance, then I'll eat, you know, a little bit more. So how I judge how much to eat, no, I don't count my calories. I go purely on how I feel. So I never ever eat to be full. I eat to be not hungry. So I'll eat what I know to be the right amount of food because like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. By the time I finish my meal, I'm never full. If I get to the point where I'm eating and I'm like starting to feel satiated, I will just stop eating, save the rest, maybe eat it half an hour later if I'm hungry or put it in the fridge and eat it the next day. But I won't eat my meal to be stuffed full and then, you know, that's when it's a struggle to lose weight. I just listen to my body basically. So what that looks like as far as food. So I wake up, I have my veggie omelette. My veggie omelette is 2 eggs, like whole eggs, large ones. And the veggies are onion, asparagus, zucchini, sweet potato, tomato, spinach, and some herbs. And it's like literally so much veggies that the egg is just like the glue. It's like just enough egg to hold it together. Like that's how much veggies is in there, a lot of veggies. And then I have like an avocado and goat cheese mash that I put on top and it's phenomenal, really good. Then I'll train and then I will come home from the gym and have like a big bowl of fruit, usually, I don't know, the equivalent of like 2 to 3 pieces of fruit in there, with some yogurt, Greek yogurt, low fat, and some like a seed mix. Then usually like an hour later or so, I'm pretty hungry, so I will have my lunch. Then a few hours after that, I will have a snack, which is usually something pretty carby, like toast or a bagel or an English muffin, maybe with avocado and egg on it or something like that. And then I'll probably train again after that. And then like whether that'll be like my cardio session, like I might do a spin session or go for a run or rarely I'll do some weight training. I should do more of that, but I don't. And then I'll have my dinner later. So my lunch and dinner are like, there's probably like 3 things that I typically eat all the time. And it's not because I don't like variety, it's just because these things are easy, they're very good for me. And I just stick to, you know, what's easy. That's mostly what I care about. So it'll be like a piece of salmon, which is like wild caught salmon, defrosted, because I always buy frozen. And so I have a piece of salmon, lots of lemon on it. I think that's probably like 150 grams or so, I forget. I'd have to look at the packet. It comes already like pre-done. The one from Whole Foods, if you shop there, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then I'll have a salad that's basically a roast veggie salad. So every week I put in the oven a whole bunch of capsicums, peppers, red peppers, and eggplant chopped up, put in the oven, and then that lives in my fridge. So whenever I want to make this salad, it's super easy. Just microwave those veggies. And then I'll put spinach in there, some chopped up red onion, and some feta cheese, and then olive oil on top. It's one of my favorite salads. I love it. Another meal I make turkey burgers every week. I usually make like 4 or 5 of them at one time. So just like the patty thing. It's funny, in Australia, if we say turkey burger, you're talking about the whole thing, like the bun and everything. But here, you're talking about literally just the patty. Anyway, turkey burgers. That's one of my good friends, Chris Algieri. It's one of his recipes, so I won't give it away. But ask him for it if you want it. But basically, it's like turkey, herbs, some egg to hold it together, a bit of oats, and some other stuff in there, flavoring bits and pieces, veggies, whatever. Sometimes I even put some like corn in there just to spice it up a bit. And so I have them. With that, I might have like a Greek salad. So again, I put feta cheese in it. I don't put olives in it just because they're a bit too salty for me. And my third meal that I eat all the time is lamb salad. So I get the Moroccan lamb skewers from Whole Foods, but I can only eat half of them at one time because they're so freaking big. So I'll cook one of them and then put the rest in the fridge, eat it the next day. And so the salad bit of that is frozen peas, which obviously I cook and defrost, with arugula and feta cheese. So, the feta cheese gives us some saltiness, the meat is salty. So that's like my typical, I'm got a fight coming up, kind of performance eating nutrition. I may throw in a protein shake in there. Like if I'm training really early in the morning, I'll get up and have like a protein shake with a banana before I go to training, and then I'll eat that omelette after training. Sometimes I may even swap the bowl of fruit and yogurt out for a protein shake if I'm like in a rush or something. So every day is different, but that's basically the gist of it. The difference between that and I don't have a fight coming up on the horizon is I pretty much eat the exact same thing. It never changes. But like sometimes I'll go out to dinner and I still eat a similar kind of thing where it's like protein, some carbs, some veggies. But like, what restaurants are like. They cook in too much oil, they put too much salt, like all that. I might have dessert, whatever. But it's no big deal because I don't do it every day. And, whatever. I don't have a fight coming up. So no big deal. You can enjoy life a little. And then I might have a bit of chocolate if I feel like it, or, oh my God, my biggest vice is dried apricots. They're like lollies to me. What do you call them? Candies, something in America, I don't know. Still not down with the lingo. Can't take the girl out of Australia. But so, I'll have little sweets here and there, and I let myself do that. But it's not all the time, it's a treat. Then obviously you saw the weight cut diet. So it's pretty much the exact same thing, but definitely no dinners out. And I take out everything salty. So all the cheese, pretty much. I wouldn't eat that lamb. I stuck to salmon and the turkey burgers. Even in the turkey burgers, normally I would put feta cheese, but I didn't put feta cheese in the turkey burgers. And I take the carbs out as well. And the reason I take the carbs out is because carbs retain about 3 times, don't quote me on that because I'm not sure, I think that's just out of my memory, 3 times as much water as like protein and fats do. So obviously my goal was to try and reduce the water weight, not actual body fat. So that's why I reduced the carbs and the salt. Yeah. What did you eat to make 118? I need to lose 10 pounds for a running race and I'm stuck. Okay, so here's the thing. When I lost that 10 pounds there in the video, there was no way in hell I could have run a running race or done anything for that matter. Like you saw me in the video, I was a freaking vegetable. No way. So that's not the way to lose 10 pounds. However, as I mentioned, I lost like 5 pounds from the start of the year to when I started the weight cut in 7 weeks, just by eating what I said. And it was slow, and I had to be very, very consistent. Like I said, I ate like 2 bad things the entire 7 weeks. But yeah, it's just consistency. And I went through weeks where I didn't lose any weight from one week to the next. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm doing everything. But then the next week I'd lose a pound, you know? So it's like, as you get older, it gets difficult. Like 5 years ago, if I even thought about losing weight, it would have just dropped off me. But, you know, I'm getting old now, so it doesn't happen like that anymore, unfortunately. You just got to be consistent and keep going. And actually, it's funny because now it's a week post weigh-in, and I've been 127, well, other than the first couple of days this week, because I did binge a little straight after the fight. Not really binge, but I ate a lot of high salt food, so I guess I was like retaining a fair bit more water. But the last few days have been good, and I'm back down to 127, waking up in the morning, and yeah, I feel good. So I guess, you know, I'll just keep going from here. I don't know, maybe by the next fight I'll be 125 when I start my weight cut, and so making that 118 is going to be a lot easier. Do you take a diuretic? No, I don't take a diuretic. As you saw in the video, I did everything via nutrition and water manipulation, with the salt and everything. And I guess you could say the Epsom salts that I put in the bath, they're supposed to be a bit of a diuretic, but that's like an external thing. I didn't actually take that. It didn't send me running to the bathroom or anything though, so I don't know, but they're supposed to be. Which brings me to the next question I was asked actually, which was, someone asked me, can you explain the whole salt thing and the impact of that, how it works, etc. So basically salt retains water. So we need a little bit of salt to keep ourselves hydrated, keep ourselves healthy. But when you're doing some extreme thing like what I did and you want to dehydrate and take the water out of your body to reduce the weight, then without, like, so basically the reason I did it via dehydration was because if I did it via fat or muscle, then that's permanent. And as you can see, I don't really have a lot of fat to lose. And if I did it via muscle, then I'm going to be making myself weaker, and I still want to be strong once I rehydrate and everything for the fight. So that's why I did it via dehydration. And so when you reduce the salt in your body, then you will retain less water. So to the degree that I did it, it's not a healthy way to be, and that's why immediately after the weigh-in, I rehydrated, got all that's the first thing I did before I ate anything, sugar, anything, was salt straight back in my body, because I needed to, when I was drinking, be able to retain the water that I was drinking rather than it just continuing to go straight through me, and then I would have stayed dehydrated, essentially. Someone asked me, does sauna help with water retention? Yeah, it does, because when you sweat and when you go to the bathroom in your urine, salt comes out of your body. And so if you're at the gym or you're in the sauna and you're sweating a lot, then salt is coming out in your sweat. You can see the first couple of days of my weight cut, I was drinking 8 liters of water a day, which is a lot of water. And so I was like constantly going to the toilet. So I was flushing that salt through my body. So by overhydrating, I'm actually dehydrating. That's why they say you can die from drinking too much water, is because what you end up doing is that you flush the salt from your body. So therefore, even though you're drinking water, your body can't retain any of that water because it's going straight through you. And then you end up dehydrating yourself and your body can't function properly and you kill yourself. So can be a dangerous process. Another reason I don't recommend doing it unless you're like heavily supervised and know exactly what's going on. Someone said to me, when I did a weight cut, it messed up my metabolism. What did you eat to keep your hormones in check and enough energy not to crash? Well, honestly, you saw me, like the last 3 days, I couldn't exercise. Like I didn't have energy. I was a zombie. Like I purposefully didn't train and just focused on losing the weight. I'm not saying that what I did is good for you, or I don't have any tests to see what my hormones were like, but maybe they were getting messed up, and that's another reason why I wouldn't recommend this for a normal person. Hopefully I'm not doing any long-term bad damage to my body, but hey, who knows, maybe I am. And you know, that's one of the risks we take in a sport, but you do it because you love it and you want to be the best at it. So I'm not making any kind of health recommendations or saying anyone should be doing what I did or saying that I did it the right way, because we can already see I made quite a few mistakes. So yeah, I don't really have an answer to that question. I did feel great by the time I got in the ring in the fight, so I'm hoping that I've done it the better of worse ways. But yeah, I don't have an answer for that. All I could probably say is, if it's not for you, it's not for you, and maybe that's something you shouldn't be doing. Someone asked me, why are you always wet in your pictures and videos? So I sweat a lot. It's just a genetic thing. I always have my whole life. It's not like something I eat or drink or do or anything. It's purely genetics. Like, if I'm literally, like right now, I'm sweating, like I'm clammy, just from, because I've been doing this for a long time and my air conditioning's off because I didn't want to make a racket in the back of the video. So yeah, it's a genetic thing. And typically most of the videos and pictures I was taking were when I'm in the gym or when I'm walking home, and so I've been moving for like at least 5 minutes, so yeah, I'm sweating. And it can be beneficial when you're trying to do a weight cut, but it can be really unbeneficial when you've got your hair and makeup done and you're trying to look nice and it's like sticking to you and all sweaty. So whatever. Play to your strengths. So I think that pretty much covers most of the questions I was asked about the weight cut and the fight. There are a couple of other questions though that I did get asked. One was, do you rather model or box? That's a tough one. I really like variety and I really like mixing it up. I enjoy both for completely separate reasons. Like, they're two totally different things. Like, for me, that's like saying, do you like eating or drinking better? I like both for different reasons. I don't know, maybe some people like one better than the other, but for me, I love both of them, and thankfully the two seem to complement each other to this point in my life, and hopefully will continue to do so. And last question, I'm inspired to start boxing because of you. Do you have any tips for me? Firstly, I just want to say, when people say that to me, it honestly makes my day. Like, nothing makes me happier. I just feel so, wow, like I'm having an impact in someone's life that I don't even know. Like, that's such a cool thing to me. It definitely drives me to want to be better, and I don't know, it's a cool feeling. So thank you when people say that. But tips that I have, I guess, firstly, decide if you're interested in actually fighting or it's just something you want to do for a fun workout. If it's just something you want to do for a fun workout, find a trainer that can teach you, or a local like group fitness studio that does boxing. Find something with like high energy that you enjoy, a trainer that you connect with, and your technique doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about the workout and having fun, and if that's your aim, then just make sure it's fun and just enjoy it. Like, you're gonna push yourself harder in the workout the more you enjoy it. If fighting is actually something you're interested in, seek out your local boxing gym. They have them in just about every city. Maybe find a boxer who's like a professional boxer, or on the state team or the national team or something that lives in your area. Ask them who their coach is. That's usually a good spot to start if you want to try and find a good coach. And just go pay for some private lessons. I always recommend starting off with private lessons, fighting is your goal. Because, even if it's not, because if you learn bad technique from the start, it can be hard to turn around and change later. I experienced that for myself, because when I started boxing, I had a broken foot. So whether not even my trainer's fault, I started with poor technique that has literally taken me years to correct some things. Even to this day, there's still mistakes that I'm constantly falling into bad habits with and having to work on. So yeah, start off with a good trainer, pay the money and take the time to learn one-on-one from someone who knows what they're talking about. And, whether you stick with the one-on-one sessions beyond, once you get the hang of it or not is up to you. See how you feel. But and once you get the hang of the technique, start sparring early. I didn't start sparring for a long time. I think when I had my first fight, I'd only sparred maybe 4 or 5 times. You probably want to spar a fair bit more than that before you start to get in the ring for the first time. Someone's coming at you trying to kill you. But just inexperienced. I didn't know. I didn't really have anyone to guide me properly. I didn't know any boxes really that, could give me advice or tell me what to do. Now I know a lot, and I'm really grateful for the advice they give me. But back then I didn't know. So do a lot of sparring, and maybe getting hit is not for you, and that's okay. You can just stick with it for fitness and fun and learning. It's a great exercise for your brain as well, because you're constantly learning new things and staying engaged. Or maybe being hit doesn't bother you at all, like me. You're a bit crazy. In which case, go hard, and hey, maybe we'll fight one day. That would be freaking awesome to know that I was the reason for starting you off. So anyway, all the best. Like I said, do not do the weight cut for any other reason. Well, just don't do that weight cut. But if you're interested in, I only posted it because I wanted to show you what I go through. I like sharing my life and what I do, and maybe it'll benefit someone in some way or stop someone from doing something stupid too. So thanks for watching, guys.